Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is time to do a Shop My Stash. So it seems like 3 months is sort of the sweet spot that I like to rotate my makeup and film it for you guys. I also do project pan and deck of panning. I also use those projects to rotate my makeup, so I want to make sure I'm leaving enough choice for those. So I will be doing a recap to go over the products that I pulled in, how many times I used them, if I still like them, and any of the makeup that I used since May, just to see what types of things I gravitated towards and why. I will put a timestamp down below for those who are just here for the Shop My Stash portion. So let's see what I used, how many times I used them, what I think about them. Let's get into it. I'm gonna start with Jest first. Jest is a MAC eyeshadow. It is sort of on the pinky side. I don't know if you can see that too well, but I'm not gonna swatch all of them right now. But I used this 4 times since May. I think I just wanted to kind of test drive this guy a little bit more, more than get a ton of use out of it, but it was nice. I liked it. Then I have Gold Leaf by Bare Minerals. I used Gold Leaf 6 times since May. That was actually pretty good for this because I did want to get more use out of it. I really love that eyeshadow and I thought it went really easily with other eyeshadows. Very daytime friendly, neutral enough, and I felt comfortable pulling it out anytime, so that's awesome. And same with Nude Beach, also by Bare Minerals. This is an oldie but a goodie. This is just a very beautiful, shimmery, silvery pink color that was kind of like Gold Leaf, the last one, like very wearable, very easy. I used Nude Beach 8 times. Lorac, this is the shade Delight. I used this 5 times. This is a very bold, like purpley fuchsia color that is really pretty. Actually not as intimidating to wear as it looks in the pan. People also notice it, so I've gotten a lot of compliments on this eyeshadow. I didn't really reach for that much in August though. That I know. I think I was kind of, because it is a bolder color, I tend to kind of get burnt out on that one a little bit after a little bit, even if I don't wear it a whole lot. But I do like it. I just need to give it a break. Melon by MAC. This is a pigment sample that I pulled in May, and this one I used 6 times since May. This is another really good one. There isn't a whole lot of it left. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and I would love to use it more. It's almost like a tangerine, a sheer kind of tangerine color that can get built up. Beautiful. Surprisingly, a color that I found really easy to wear too. I wouldn't think that because it's kind of orangey. You wouldn't think it, but it actually is gorgeous. Man Catcher. This is this purple limited edition MAC shade. This one I used 6 times. I know that I really like this eyeshadow and it looks really good with like a dark brown liner. I really admired it on myself in the past, but for some reason I kind of didn't really want to wear it that much lately. I don't know. Even though I did get 6 uses out of it, it was kind of like I had to make myself use it type of a thing. So don't know what that means, but it's just something interesting to note. I probably need to play with it more. I just don't think this is a color that I really want to reach for. I have to make myself reach for it, so that's something to note. Larkabout. This is the MAC Pigment. This is an iridescent eyeshadow. It's actually a little bit more purple than it looks here, but this is really pretty. I used this 4 times. Purple eyeshadows for me are not, now I know it's not like straight up purple, it's iridescent, but it has a purple shift to it. They're not really colors that I gravitate towards naturally. I do like them when I put them on, but I have to make myself, just like that other eyeshadow I just talked about. Purple is just one of those colors. I gotta remind myself to use it. I pulled in a whole bunch of blushes. That's unusual for me, but I guess with 3 months, I had to pull in a bunch. I don't know if I'm gonna do that this next time, but I had Cargo. This is this blush right here, one of my favorites in my collection. I hit pan on it. Obviously, it was in a project. I used this 9 times. Love this blush. I probably will eventually put this in another project at some point because I want to get a whole lot of use out of it and maybe even finish it. I know, crazy. Luminoso, the very famous Milani blush. This one I used 7 times since May. I still like it. It doesn't leave like a huge impression on me though. I think it's a nice blush, but it's not one that like stands out to me like I'm obsessed with it. I know a lot of people love it. It's a good blush. I enjoy using it, but it's just not one that like stands out to me. Thankful, I use a ton of times. I use Thankful 12 times. I don't know if that is a ton, but compared to everything else, I use this one the most. This is by Tarte, limited edition. I think it's just a very magnetic looking color. It's very bright, it's very summery. I can see why I wanted to reach for it a lot, and this is kind of like a very fun shade. So enjoy this. Clearly used it more than all the other ones. Another Tarte blush. This is Tarte Party, Paarty. This is a very neutral blush. This is one of those blushes that I could swear I would want to reach for all the time because it's neutral. I use this 8 times, so I did reach for it, but it's not one that I automatically gravitate towards. It is great though for when you don't want your blush to compete with everything else on your face. It's a really easy one. I pulled in 2 highlighters. I had Mary Luminizer. Love this. I used this 12 times. So I have another highlighter that I'm trying to pan, so I would kind of battle back and forth between the two. But yeah, 12 times on this. I think that's pretty good. I don't always wear highlighter. It's not like something I use every time I wear makeup. It just really depends, but it's a good one. Love it. Then we have the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter in the shade Rose Gold. This one I used 9 times. So this is a skin matching highlighter for me. Even though I know it's called a highlighter, this to me is more like a glow. It does kind of highlight here though, so maybe I'm lying. I don't know. So for bronzers, I brought in Betty Luminizer, and this one I used 19 times, and I only brought in one because I don't have a ton of bronzers, and I actually really want to finish up a contour stick slash bronzer that I have. I really do enjoy this in the summertime. I don't really like to use it, you know, past the really hot months because it is very glowy. It is kind of pigmented. It just looks a little seasonal to me, right? So I tend to stick to more like low-key types of products come winter, come fall. I appreciate the glowiness of it, but you have to have a very light hand with it, in my opinion, because it does go on really pigmented, so just gotta be careful with that. I had Pommy Girl in. It's like a deeper pink, but it has a little bit of a brighter undertone, if that makes sense. So I used Pommy 4 times, and this is by Soap and Glory, by the way. I don't know if they make this anymore. It's their Sexy Mother Pucker line, and it's a really good lipstick. I really enjoy it. I just think it might have been a little much for me on its own in the summertime. If you're new here, I tend to not wear really pigmented stuff in the summer, like really, you know, heavy makeup. So I wear this sheared out this time of the year, but it's nice. I just didn't use it that much. For these lip liners, I have Pinky, and Pinky I used 4 times. I use it as a lipstick, so it is really pretty. Again, it's very bright, statement maker. I like this a lot, but I just didn't find many occasions where I wanted to wear it. It's a very pretty, flattering color, but it's just, I was a little bit more mellow this summer, so it was harder to kind of reach for this. It is what it is. I'm not sure how long that one's gonna stay in my collection, but I do like it. It's just a very not easy one to wear that often. So Nyx Ever Lip Liner. I only used this 2 times. Yeah, I don't know. I only used it twice. I think it's just the time of year. I think it's a little too dark for the summer for me. Not really one that I want to use. More like fall for me, maybe even winter. So I think that was the situation here. So yeah. I have a bunch of other makeup that I did reach for as well that was not in the Shop My Stash. I don't think I'm going to talk about these at length, but I will mention a couple that I used a whole bunch. So I had Flower Beauty, their winged liner. This is the Forever Wear winged liner, and this I used 8 times. I'm not crazy about this because it's starting to come out very unevenly. Like, it doesn't come out smoothly. You really have to work to get it to go on. I don't get it. I tried to, like, you know, run it on my hand first to get the ink like flowing out. I, you know, put a little bit of water on it. I store it with the cap down. I don't get it. I don't like that though. So I might go back to using one of those like Inkwell type products. So I'm not really sure what's going on with this. I liked it at first, but then over time it just started performing not that great. So I've been using this so much too. This is the Nars Lagoona lip balm. This is so nice. At first I was like, okay, it's not a big deal. I don't get the hype. But I wore it like a lot this past month, and I felt like whenever I would like catch myself in the mirror, like if I was out somewhere shopping or like if I was at home, whatever, it just looked very flattering. So I enjoy it. I love the little sample packaging. It is just like the cutest little thing. So I've been using this a ton. I don't know how many times. I didn't like mark that down, but I've been using it a lot, and it's like almost finished. So that just goes to show that I really do enjoy this. I was kind of surprised about that. And I also use this Ulta Highlighter. I pulled this in actually back in February, and I just kept it out, and I've been using this pretty regularly, about 45 times since February. So I know I didn't pull it in May, like formally, but I just kept it out. I've been using it, and I'm actually trying to pan this little guy. This is, yeah, the Ulta Beauty Liquid Illuminator in the shade, I guess, Starlight. So this is kind of skin matching, but it's a little bit more highlighty than this one. So yep, I've been enjoying that. Also, I want to mention for eyeshadows that I pulled in that were not in a Shop My Stash, this shade was Coquette. I used Coquette 4 times. If you watched my one declutter video like not that long ago, I did kind of say I was going to declutter this, but I changed my mind, and I'm so glad I did because I still really like it. I used it. I brought it to Rhode Island with me when we went on vacation, and I found a lot of use for it, and I've been, you know, pretty happy with the 4 times I used it. So I brought this in July. Loved that. Glad I didn't throw it out. And then there's MAC Wedge, which is another really wearable, daytime friendly crease shade. Love this guy. I used Wedge 7 times, so very pleased with both of these. There are a whole bunch of other products that I used as well, but I think it would take too long to talk about all of them. Now let's get into the Shop My Stash portion, and for that I'm not pulling in anything that I don't have a huge amount of, so like foundations, concealers, mascara, stuff like that. If you don't see the category, probably means I have so few of it that there's nothing to shop. So let's get started with the shopping of everything else. All right, guys, I'm gonna pick some eyeshadows. I am going to pick out like 4 eyeshadows on my own. I'm gonna do my random number generator and pick out 1 single shadow, and from the palette that I choose, I'm going to randomize 2 shadows, use those 2 eyeshadows from the palette a little bit more than the rest of the palette. So I decided to go for Star Violet, which is it this one? Yeah, Star Violet. This is what it looks like. Almost like foiled looking, but it's definitely violet with a little bit of copper in there, so it's really, really pretty. I think this will be really nice for September, August, September, October, so we'll pull that one in. And I really wanted to focus on All That Glitters by MAC. This is one of my favorite eyeshadows by MAC. Kind of like a peachy copper. It's definitely shimmery, so this is super pretty and such a staple for me. And I just haven't really pulled this in too much ever since I hit pan on it like a while ago. I think this was in my first project pan ever, like 2020-ish. So we're gonna pull that one out. Some Bare Minerals eyeshadows, which are sold. I want to pull in, is it Pussycat? No. Yeah, I think it is Pussycat. Like a really pretty brownish gold color. That'll be really, really nice. I have 3 so far. I know I want to use my Chocolate Bar palette. This is a predictable one for me. I always pull this out in the fall at some point. Oh yeah, this makes sense for me. You know, darker tones, brown, sometimes even Valentine's Day type of palette for me because of the pinks in there too, and chocolate. Like, I did the random number generator for this palette to focus on 2 of the shades more than the others. I didn't include this white chocolate shade. Kind of wanted to stick with the pigmented colors. It ended up generating number 7, which is this color right here. This is Semi-Sweet, which is just a like kind of dark brown, nothing super crazy. It actually generated Triple Fudge, which I already have in another project, so I had to do it again. But yeah, so it was this one, and the other color was number 8, which was Strawberry Bonbon. So this isn't typically a very fall color for me, but I think it would be kind of nice to use this in combination with like some of the other colors and see what looks I can come up with. So these 2 I will be trying to get like 7 uses out of between now and the next Shop My Stash. And the rest of the palette I'm also free to use, and generally I like to get like 3 to 4 uses out of all the other shadows that I pull in. So if I can get 3 to 4 out of the rest of them, you know, I have a couple months for that, then great. I randomly generated another number from like 1 to 67. I have all my shadows listed on a piece of paper, and it pulled, I forget what number it was, but it was this shade Chameleon, I was like, seriously? That's another Bare Minerals shade, and look at this color. This is actually really pretty. It's just not a color I would ever think to pull for this time of year. Yeah, so that is what I have to work with, and I have to get like 3 to 4 uses out of that guy over the next few months. So, I mean, hey, if we're talking about being random, like this, you can't get more random than Chameleon in August and September or October. So these were intentional, and then this was not so intentional. All right, so there you go for eyeshadows. Okay, so for blush, I really want to pan my Wet n Wild blush. That's the only blush I have in a project, so I'm really not going to be pulling in a whole lot of blushes. That's fine, because the last cycle I pulled in a whole bunch of blushes. I'm ready to scale back. So I think I used all of these in my last cycle. Let me think. Nars, Dallas. How about this guy? I think I'm gonna pull in this blush. This is one that is on my chopping block, sort of. These Laura Geller blushes are really awesome, but the pans are so huge. I don't really love huge pans of blush. I just don't. I know that's kind of weird, but because it is pretty. This is just like a matte rosy pink. It has a little bit of a bluish undertone to it, and it's really hard to swatch blush, but hopefully you get the idea. So I do want to give this more use and see if I like love it enough to keep it, because again, great blush. I just don't know if I want this like huge pan of it. I don't know why that matters so much to me. It just kind of does. But I did declutter one other Laura Geller blush from my collection because I just didn't need it. So we'll see how it goes. I know I've enjoyed it in the past, so we'll just get more use out of it. And I think I'll pull in the one more, so I'll only have like 3 blushes in rotation because of the Project Pan one. I want to pull in, I guess, golden pink here to focus on. This is a little bit more like fall-ish to me. This is by CoverGirl, by the way. So this one looks a little bit like the Wet n Wild blush, kind of. That will cover me for blush, and that's okay. I know they're not like the most exciting blushes, but I haven't used them in a while, and again, I'm trying to really focus on hitting pans. So we're just gonna do these 2 for now. Okay, not going in any particular order. Next, we're gonna do lipsticks, and okay, so I'm a teacher, and we started work already, and my kids actually start next week, like my students. So we actually have to mask for 10 days. So that's going to make things interesting. But, man, I don't know what to do here. I like to usually pick like a nude and then something a little bit more like seasonal. Some of these are more like on the pinkier side of nude. But I'm actually going to go with this Baddest Beige. I feel like I haven't used this in quite some time. It makes my lips very neutralized and pales them down a bit. But I think it'll be good to get some use out of it. So I remember Jaclyn Hill mentioned she really liked this. I was looking for a really good beigey nude anyway, so when she suggested it, I was like, okay, gotta go with that one, and it worked out really well. On me, pretty flattering, but you have to like watch how you do your eyes kind of thing. So we'll go with that, and I think I actually want to pull in, this is Abu Dhabi. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go with this. This is not an eyeshadow. I just had to rehome this lipstick because the case was just not good. This is by Makeup Academy. It's a discontinued shade. So I'm gonna use this as more of like my brown neutrally type of nude color. So this is like a really good one. I really like this. I wouldn't have wasted my time melting it down if I didn't like it. So I'm just gonna stick with these 2 for my nude colors. Okay, here I generally keep like brighter colors and like pink shades. I don't really think there's anything pink right now that I'm feeling. I think I'm gonna like let this fly for now. And down here are like my deeper shades, like my dark reds, bright reds, stuff like that. So I actually want to pull in this ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip sample. This is in the shade Frickin' Frack. This is such a comfortable lipstick formula, really nice. And I think with masking, this will definitely last on my lips. I don't really get super excited about wearing it, but it does make your makeup look a little bit more formal because it is on the deeper side. So I do appreciate that like formal kind of lip shade. So I'm gonna pull in this guy, and let me think really hard if there's another color. Half Red is very similar to Frickin' Frack that I just showed you, so I'm gonna leave that out. I'm really just not that pulled. Actually, with the other projects that I have going on, I might just like let these sit here and just focus on these three for now, because I need to have some sort of selection for when I do the projects. So we'll just stick with these three. Okay, so now we're gonna pick out a bronzer and a highlighter. For bronzers, I don't have a lot at all. Let me see, I only have like these two drawers right here. So I could probably all put them into one drawer, to be honest with you. So let me move my phone so you can actually see. So the Nars Lagoona, I feel like I had that in recently. Hoola, definitely had that in recently. I think I've had these all in recently because I don't have a lot of them. So I had this one in last. I put it back in here, but I think I'm actually going to keep using this till like the end of the summer actually, because it's just, to me, like super glowy and bronzy and shimmery and just fits with summer the most, and that's the best time to wear it. So I'm gonna actually keep using this till the end of like August, middle of September. And then actually on the top, I put this palette here because this is actually the bronzer I want to use. Yes, it's like a hot mess because everything's floating around, even though there are magnets on them. I don't know why they're doing that, but they're apparently not very good magnets. I'm gonna use this Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer because I just want to get more use out of it because it's older and it has like a nice little dent going in there. It's actually a really nice neutral toned bronzer and easy to wear. So I'm going to use that too. And don't forget, I also have my Sonia Kashuk contour stick, which I kind of use as a bronzer too because it can be, to me, used both ways. So that will set me up for my bronzers. For highlighter, okay, kind of the same situation here. I don't have a ton of highlighters, so it always feels like I just used them. I used that one last time. This one has been out consistently since like February maybe, and I'm going to continue using this till I hit pan on it. This is the Ulta Liquid Illuminator. I think I might have talked about this in the intro or when I did the recap. Really, really pretty. The truth is, like, I just don't like reaching for highlighter as much right now. I think it's because it looks like it's too much. I think, you know, I'm doing a lot of professional development. Some of it's a little bit dressier, others are really casual, so it just depends. It just like depends on the day and what type of vibe there is, but like, yeah, generally I can skip highlighter a lot of days. And then there's this Tarte Stunner. I think I'm going to pull this one in because I feel like it's been a while since I've used this one. This is just a really pretty silvery taupey highlighter. Wow. Okay, that's cool. And I'm sure I can, like, you know, make it less flashy if I feel like it. I don't like super flashy highlighter right now. It's like really not my thing. But yeah, we can make this work. So I'll just use both of these. Yeah, I have setting powders in here too, but I'm really trying to pan the one setting powder I have, so I won't be pulling in any setting powders this time. All right, next I pulled out my jar of, or cup rather, of eyeliners. I have two on my dresser right now that I'm trying to hit a goal on in one of my projects. So this is what I have left. And yeah, I really don't have a lot of eyeliners. I'm not going to be using this 24/7 Urban Decay one. I had this in a project and it's like way too not this time of year. It's like an aqua blue. I had this in a project recently as well. This is the Maybelline Lasting Drama one. This one is the Avon Dark Brown, which I also don't think I'm going to pull in because I have a dark brown shadow that I'm using right now as an eyeliner from Deca Panning, so we're going to skip that. I think I'm only going to pull in like maybe these two. This is MAC Prunella. This is one of my favorite MAC eyeliners. It's like not too purple, browny type of purple. Really pretty. Love that. So I'm going to use that, and this is just a gray Rimmel eyeliner. It's called Hurricane Gray, so it's pretty basic. It's like nothing that special at all, but it's like, you know, wearable if you don't feel like thinking too much and you just want to throw something on. That works. So I'm just going to pull in these two. Again, don't have a ton of eyeliner, so I just make sure that I'm rotating them, and then I'm fine. All right, so here are all the products that I picked out for this Shop My Stash. I do think I like everything that I picked out. Like, Everything kind of looks like it's headed towards fall. That is awesome. So I'm really pleased with this round of makeup. I think I'll be getting a lot of good use out of it. Definitely check out my projects and see what else I end up pulling in. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this Shop My Stash. Please consider giving this video a like, consider subscribing. I might be slowing down a little bit on my channel this month because work's starting up and things get a little bit hectic, but maybe I'll surprise myself and upload more than I think. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!